So now we're going to talk about turning things over to a higher power and how that will help you feel more connected to your spiritual self or your soul. And the reason that's important and why is it so hard these days to do this? I find it's especially difficult because we hear a lot about the philosophy of, let's call it the secret, right? We're going to manifest things. We're going to create things. We're going to make things happen out of pure will. And we believe that we can create and shape our universe out of pure will and intention. And then we've also, unfortunately, learned in that process to shame ourselves when things don't happen, right? I've been there. I'm like, oh yeah, I should be able to make this happen. I should will this into existence. And why isn't my manifestation happening? Like, why isn't this job that I wanted happening? Why isn't this relationship I wanted happening? Like, why aren't these things coming together? And then I remember, because actually it was really fortunate to be exposed to 12-step programs, even from when I was a teenager. And I have to say, it actually really helped to shape my world and give me tools that I probably wouldn't normally have, because I did not grow up in a formal religious setting. So, and something that people who do grow up in formal religious, atmospheres in their homes, they actually do believe in a higher power, in a God, whatever form that takes, whatever religion that is. So the benefits to believing that there is a higher power, aside from something just intellectual, is the magic that ends up happening behind that. And this is where they get so cool when we just let go of what our minds think our constructed reality is all about. So I'm just going to read a little section from my book. Of course, you've got a copy of this. And so in the times when I doubt, like, oh, is there really a higher power? Or, is there really anything guiding my life? Are there guides? Is it just my will? What is this? And why can't I make things happen? Then I remind myself of these things. So I often need to remind myself that there's a power that will guide me, far greater than my own intelligence or emotions. Most Westerners have a conditioned inclination to muscle through things through the sheer power of will. But when I remember there's an organizing force in the universe far more intelligent than me, I'm reminded this is how to hack the game. I think about the fact that this incredible intelligence has created the astounding mechanism of our bodies. I wonder at the photo finish eyes of the owl butterfly's wings, and even that's not in the book, even like the stick bugs, stick bugs. I mean, come on, they don't sit there and go, I'm going to be a stick bug. That's going to be better for my evolution. There's intelligence behind that. Anyway, I marvel at the fact that our physical world is held together only by the vibration of electrons, as there's mostly space between the small building blocks of matter. The intelligence required to compile a string of DNA and understand its language to create a unique life form is far beyond any human capacity. So, I just think about those things and say, okay, clearly there is some natural force far greater than me that can be in charge of the evolution of the body of the owl butterfly, the stick bug. And why would I think that that force isn't also in charge of creating the flow of everything else in the world, and also what's included in that, not just my body, but my soul is also included in that. So that's where I go, okay, well, let's try this, because it gives my mind an opening. It gives my mind the space to go, okay, maybe there is something else. And I know this really does take exercise. It's a muscle to release that feeling, to release it, to go, there's something else. And you allow that little gap of space for that something else that may or may not be there, you might say, to really show itself. It's like, okay, show me I'm being guided. And another way to think about this, I've had to learn how to trick my mind in all kinds of ways over the years because I like to think about things, right? Like facts and empirical science and all this, and yet had all these crazy things happen to me, these mystical experiences that I couldn't explain. So I had to go back to try to explain, put this together in my mind. So how can this be possible that when you turn things over to a higher power that things actually work? Well, your subconscious is always at work in your mind, right? So you've got subconscious principles that are either working for you or against you. It's one reason to do some really good, deep work on yourself, is so those subconscious things don't get in your way. But that a subconscious goal will help you achieve your goals in the outside world. And when you let go and you let the subconscious and also your innate connection energetically to other human beings and other, living things and other rhythms, we have these, the cat is saying yes too. When we are connected to these pieces subconsciously, and we're also connected on an energetic level. This has actually been scientifically proven, which I absolutely love, that people can influence each other's brain waves over a distance. Those are ways that we can call things into our lives. But sometimes there is serendipity that happens that there's no explanation for. And these are the types of things that when you turn it over, you're really looking for it. My cat's name is Laura. Excuse me. Laura, please. I'm trying to do a video. Anyway, so let's take a moment and let's think about a concept of a higher power that you might have. So it can be angels, it can be guides, it can be a deceased relative. It can be your idea of God if you already have one. It can be the divine force of the universe. It can be the 1,000 Buddhas. It can be anything you want, but as long as you believe it's more intelligent than you and they guide your life. So let's take a moment, let's take a breath, and just think about this. And once you've done that, you say to yourself, okay, I am willing to give over my problem to this divine source, and please take care of this because I can't. That is the practice. And to do that in a repeated way over and over again, and then you will be able to find this muscle in yourself when you need it. And also another practice I like to use is I imagine myself being in a beam of this divine guidance where I don't think about anything. I'm just here for the ride. I'm just going for the ride. Like, okay, show me what to do today. Show me what to do. I think I have an idea of what I'm supposed to do, but please show me what else I might not know. And every time I do that, the most amazing, magical things drop in my lap. I mean, people will just call me out of the blue, invite me to events that change my life, or, it's the things I've been looking for. They come so easily when I just let go. So practicing turning it over to a higher power is a truly essential piece. And also remember, everything, remind yourself that everything is perfectly on schedule and is unfolding in this life as should be, exactly as it's supposed to. So accept the moment, because you're exactly where you need to be at today. And you are going to feel so much better when you get a sign, and you will get so many more. And if you've had them in the past, write them down to remind yourself that that exists. Okay.